Hello, this is Jessica, and today I will be going over the pulse, the heart rate, blood pressure, and the respiratory rate. For the pulse, on the side where your thumb is, about an inch below from where your hand meets your wrist, so right here, there's like a meaty section. So there you're gonna place 3 of your fingers and try to find the heart rate. Once you find it, put your timer on and count how many beats you feel. If it's 80 beats and over, then that's a fast heart rate. And if it's 60 beats and under, that's a slow heart rate. When you're checking the pulse, there is some things that you want to look out for. So you want to see the strength of the pulse. Is it strong? Is it weak? You want to see the rhythm. Does it come in waves? Is the wave higher up top and then weaker as it finishes off the beat? Or does it start off low and finish high? Is the pulse rate slippery? Is the pulse rate rough? And you also want to check balance. So after you check the pulse on the right side, you want to check the pulse on the left. Just compare the pulse rates on both sides. Moving on to blood pressure. So this is very important, especially if your client does have high blood pressure or low blood pressure. So getting the actual accurate numbers will determine your herb selection or if they need medical attention. So to check your client's blood pressure, you're going to have them seated with their legs uncrossed. Have their arm rest on the table so that their artery is at heart level. You're gonna slide the cuff on and you're gonna make sure that you are constantly in contact with the artery. So once you feel it, once the cuff is there, the cuff should be like an inch and a half above the artery. So it will be here. Then you're gonna start pumping it to the point where you can no longer feel the artery. Once you can no longer feel the artery from the buildup of pressure, you're gonna look at your gauge. The top number is the systolic number. This is the sound that you hear. The second number, which is just underneath, is the diastolic number. So the normal blood pressure rating should have a systolic number less than 120 and a diastolic less than 80. Moving on to respiratory rate. This is very important as our breath is such a great tool. So a normal respiratory rate is between 12 and 20 breaths a minute. If your client has lower than that, then this could be an indication that they are on too many pharmaceutical medications or that one of their pharmaceutical medications is too high, or if the client is on morphine or any intense pain relieving medicines, they will have a lower respiratory rate. If they have an increased respiratory rate, even if it's just slightly more than 20, like 25 for example, it could be an indication of a certain ailment or disease like COPD or some other things that should draw up your attention. A way to check the respiratory rate is to not tell your client that this is what you're testing, or else if they are aware, they might change their natural rhythm of breathing. So make sure they do not know until you're done. So a way to check is to put your timer on and count how many times you see their diaphragm raise, which is an indication of a new breath. You could do this, like count it for 1 minute and then count it again for an additional minute just to see if the numbers alter. That way you could get a better representation of their respiratory rate. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you in the next one.